What's up, guys? Razio here. I've been getting some. Try not to disturb the conehead taking a nap back there. He gets pissed if he gets woken up when he's taking a nap. He's already pissed because he has a conehead on. But in this video, I'm going to talk about what I think about World of Warcraft's upcoming expansion, Shadowlands, and how it'll most likely fucking suck.
I am Razio.
And there it is. He woke up and he moved. So I could talk full volume. Anyway, so I wanted to talk a bit about, let me fix this mic here. This is all unscripted. I just wanted to go over this because I had a discussion on my Discord about Shadowlands with a specific member and a couple other people in private messages, a couple friends from my old guild when I used to play World of Warcraft. So I wanted to go over my thoughts and opinions because I haven't said anything about World of Warcraft's expansion since it was announced. And let's be honest, I'm probably not going to even touch it with a 10-foot pole. But again, I'm never say never, because I ate my own words with WoW Classic, which, by the way, is starting to die as I predicted. Its numbers are dropping off. Is familiar? I think like WoW subs are down like 64%. Then since they got their initial huge boost when Classic was released last August. But anyway, not about Classic WoW. This is about World of Warcraft Shadowlands. So Shadowlands is coming out here in probably August of this year. Is, if memory serves, of how Blizzard releases. No, I'm gonna stop saying Blizzard. Of how Activision releases their WoW expansions. So let's look at this website here, and I'll give you my thoughts. So I've seen this both cinematics. I mean, the cinematic quality at Activision Blizzard has always been top notch. They look gorgeous. They look great. I'll give credit where credit's due. The World of Warcraft art team and their cinematics team is second to none in the industry. But let's move on. So with the cinematics, not a surprise. The story is fucking awful. It's terrible. Sylvanas just walks up and rips the helm of domination in half. Why didn't anybody else think to do that? Oh, because for some reason she's got old god powers now or something. She's Garrosh 2.0, evil, cackle, twist my mustache, but with a different motive. He's gonna save everybody, whatever, okay. The story in World of Warcraft has never been its strong suit. Vanilla World of Warcraft didn't really have a story. It just followed Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 lore, which was fine in the RTS game. It was enjoyable. Burning Crusade, still, there was no big overarching bad guy. You could, really, there was the Sunwell and, kill Jaden, I think, if I remember right. And, of course, the Illidan and all that stuff at Black Temple, but it wasn't like a narrative-driven expansion. Neither was Classic or Vanilla World of Warcraft. And Wrath of the Lich King was its kind of WoW's first attempt at a overarching narrative, and I would say for the most part it was successful. It was good. But again, they were using all their source material for those first three expansions was Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, and Warcraft 3. And since then, we've seen the storytelling go downhill dramatically. Absolutely dramatically. Like, even from Wrath 2. Cataclysm, it was a huge... You could see that they didn't know what they were doing. They don't know how to tell a story. But, again, I don't play MMOs just for the story. In fact, most of the time, I don't care what the story is. But let's keep going. Of course, you can pre-purchase. Yay, pre-purchase. Give your money to a product that's not out yet. Okay. Brave the Beyond. So you're going to the Shadowlands, the realms of the dead. And I've looked at some of the art. Again, art team's great. Some of the art looks really, really cool. But here's something I'm seeing. As one of Azeroth's greatest champions, they're still sticking to the you're the main hero, which, you know, the chosen one phenomenon that they're still playing up to, which in my opinion they shouldn't be in MMOs. Even Final Fantasy XIV is guilty of this. In a lot of ways, I think Final Fantasy XIV's story should have just been a single player game, but not getting into that here. So, what features is this expansion going to have? Okay, 5 new zones. Okay, great. Let's take a look. Again, here we're just critiquing Art Team, and Art Team has been great. I've said it many times. They've never disappointed. The Maw. Okay, let's see what other features. There's a new player hub. Okay, every expansion has one of those, so not much to say there. Okay, new feature, Covenants. Align yourself with one of 4 Covenants, mysterious sects, ladies, to see which of their own, each have their own ambition for Shadowlands. And I saw an interview with Ian Hazzikostas where it's essentially like gonna unlock talent trees, much akin to the what's it called? The artifact weapon back from Legion, and what is it now in Battle for Azeroth? I think it's a necklace or something. The Heart of Azeroth, right? That's what it is. So this is likely going to be the AP dump. I have seen Ian Hazzikostas say, no, it's not AP. It's not. We're abandoning the whole artifact power. I don't believe him. I'll believe it when I see it. They can't release an expansion now. I think Blizzard's incapable of releasing an expansion that doesn't have an artificial grind that is endless, that they're just going to shove in there, right? So, but we'll see. I could be wrong. So you get rewards. So let's see what you get. Can't click on them. Abilities. I don't know what Sanctum is. I guess that's kind of like your class hall from Legion. Transmogs and mounts. Okay. It's interesting. Looks like there's 4 factions: Necrolord, Tyrion, Zenthir, and something that I am going to note here, which is probably true, and I don't think Blizzard is going to be able to balance these. There's going to be a best one for raiding and a best one for PvP. There's no way around it. So be ready for that. It's an interesting idea, but I don't see it as being very much different from the Order Hall that was in Legion. Seems like a renamed Order Hall, class Order Hall, and mixed in with your artifact weapon. Okay. A new feature, an infinite dungeon. Okay. This one piqued my interest, an infinite dungeon. Okay. So it looks like it's an endlessly replayable, ever-changing dungeon. So like a Diablo dungeon. That you can challenge alone or in a group. Your runs will differ each time. You'll need to explore cautiously. Death comes at a terrible cost. Okay, cool. Defeat enough of the challenges and you'll be rewarded with unique abilities and items, but only bolster your next run, so they're not applicable outside of this tower, only outside of it. Okay, crafting legendary weapons. Uh-oh. We saw what happened with legendaries in Legion, so we'll see. I know I'm coming off as like super negative, but come on, can you fucking blame me at this point? How many times have people been completely fucked and burned by this game now that it's an Activision baby, right? So I'm just being a fucking realist, man. I'm just being straight up with you guys as always. So yeah, okay. This could turn out to be good. However, it's again going to be something else that's really hard to balance, and we all know how Blizzard balances things poorly, and it takes them a long time to react on balances, and they generally tend to always swing the pendulum too far in the other direction. They over nerf and under buff very aggressively. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Okay, this is another thing that came up during the Shadowlands thing that I found piqued my interest, and here's why. One of the biggest problems an MMO is going to face that no MMO has ever really been able to solve is its leveling system as the game ages. They're always adding new expansions. They're always adding more content. I thought Assurance Call did it in the best way where they added new things, but it didn't trivialize the old things or the old world at all. But again, it was a sandbox MMO. And the biggest thing, I've said this in my other videos, the biggest thing that theme park MMOs are going to run into is kind of unavoidable, to make all your old areas and all your old content completely fucking useless as time goes on and no one goes there and it's a waste. And if you recall, the last time that Blizzard completely focused and changed the leveling process and zones, old zones in this way, was Cataclysm, and it turned out poorly. And the reason why it turned out poorly is because, not because what they did to the world was bad, it was actually quite good. It was because it pulled a lot of time and focus and resources off the other parts of the game, which is why Cataclysm ended up being so terrible, because everything else after the first raid tier was shallow. And it, not a lot of people experienced all the work they put into the old world. Because let's face it, most people weren't newly coming into World of Warcraft at that point, or, you know. So only people that really experienced all those changes were people leveling alts. But in this, apparently, there's going to be a new zone for 1 to 10 players, because the level cap's going squished down to 60 again. Which, whatever, level's just a number, I guess. And in theme park MMOs especially, because everything's so heavily focused on endgame, the leveling experience is kind of gives you shit anyway, right? It's been a waste of time for a long time. It's just something you have to do before you can actually play the game. All theme park MMOs are this way, that have an end game gear grind model. So, from 10 to 50, you can pick which expansion you level from 10 to 50 to. Okay, so you can pick Vanilla, Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, Mists of Pandaria, and so on and so on and so forth, which I think is a cool idea. They could potentially have found an answer to this problem that they've had, where A, leveling alts is boring, where B, old areas and old content never gets touched. This could solve that problem. We'll see. We'll see how it actually turns out, and we'll see if it even actually makes it into the game. Blizzard's no stranger to adding things in the game or announcing features to their expansion and then having it just not end up being in the game. This is a pretty big one, though, for them to miss if they don't get it in. Okay, pre-purchase for rewards. Who's surprised? There's a basic edition. There's a heroic edition. And there's an epic edition. All these editions, guys, spend more money. Spend more money to get this stupid shit. And guess what? I noticed the Epic Edition is the only edition that actually includes 30 days of game time. Every other expansion ever released in WoW's history, to my knowledge, you got 30 days just for buying the expansion, no matter what version of it you bought, whether you bought the collector's edition or the standard. Now there's base, heroic, and epic. Is there going to be a epic collectors? I don't know. Man. That it? Okay, join the beta. Gallery. All right. So, to give my opinion, right? Why do I think Shadowlands is probably going to be bad? Well, A, because it's being made by Activision Blizzard, a bunch of communist bastards. And most of their best talent outside of their art team has left the company a long time ago. But I'm going to try to put a positive spin on this, okay? Instead of saying this is why Shadowlands is going to suck, I'll tell you what it needs to be good, to get anybody coming back to this game. Okay? 1. AP needs to be gone completely forever. The AP grind needs to be gone. No more. Okay? It was a half-baked okay idea in Legion, but even in Legion showed its flaw because you got AP to make your weapon stronger, but you had no choice on your weapon. Eventually you got all the talents and everything, so it didn't matter. You know, so And then I don't have enough knowledge or experience. I haven't played BFA at all, so I can't tell you like anything about it. From what I've read on forums and what I see people say who are WoW players, they say it's worse, and it's it's just a huge waste of time. It's a time sink, and it's stupid. So AP grind, that whole thing needs to be gone. Okay. If they're gonna introduce legendaries need to be really hard to get, change how you play your character, and shouldn't be like so common that everyone has to have it or you can't raid. You can't be on your raid team because you don't have X legendary. That's what it needs to be. And I'd be fine if there was just one legendary that would work across every class and would just change according to your spec or something like that. Okay? So that's how they need to handle legendaries, in my opinion. They need to be more like they were in Vanilla and Burning Crusade and Wrath the Lich King. Okay. They need to make epic gear no longer the standard. Now hear me out on this. Epic gear should not be, boom, you hit level cap, and bam, you have all the epic gear. You're decked out in all epics from that point forward. Blues need to matter. Dungeon blues need to matter. All that stuff needs to matter again. Epic gear should only be dropping in the raids, in the different tiers of raids. I don't think LFR should drop epic gear at all. In fact, I wish LFR would just be fucking removed from the game. Shouldn't even be there. And I'm sure a lot of you agree with me on that. And it needs to be, high-end Mythic Plus and this new tower thing they're adding, you can argue, can drop epic gear as well, Epic should coincide with the challenge. Okay. 4. You need to abandon RNG on gear. Now, hear me out on this one. This is what I mean. I'm not talking about drops. Drops should still be RNG. What drops should be RNG, which, by the way, small footnote, they need to bring back Master Looter and actually let you see loot. I think personal loot is cancerous as fuck, and it's discouraging, and it's just not fun, but I digress. Titan Forging and War Forging need to be completely gone in every way, shape, and form. I know, and I hear from, I have no idea how the system works, but in BFA now there's Corruption, which is just an RNG stat to replace Titan Forging and War Forging, which they shouldn't even be in the game. There shouldn't be different versions of the same piece of gear outside of, okay, there's a normal version, a heroic, and a mythic. I'm fine with that, them being the same item, but each one as it goes up has higher stats. That's fine. But there should be no RNG involved in any of the stats that roll on a piece of gear. In my opinion, I think that's the best solution. Gear should be static. Their stats should be static. Their effects should be static. Okay. Another thing, 5. They need to bring back class-specific tier sets. That was one of the best things WoW had. They were the first MMO that really pushed that, to my knowledge. Now, gear sets where you add set pieces and you get special effects for having multiple pieces of the set. They took it away out of sheer laziness. It was 100% laziness. They didn't want to keep designing class sets. So it needs to be brought back. Having every plate wearer wearing the same thing, every male wearer wearing the same looking thing, etc., is bullshit. It's stupid, it's lazy, and it's not engaging or fun in any way, shape, or form. So, my final thing they need to do, they need to incentivize, guilds. Remember back in Cataclysm when they added all these guild perks for being in the guild? All these special spells and bonuses you unlock for being in the guild, and then they took them away? Yeah, they need to find a better solution and bring it back. Because right now, guilds are mostly pointless. I mean, with all the cross-realm, cross-faction, cross-fucking pay money to become and change anything at any time has ruined a lot of their own community. And there needs to be a reason to be in an actual guild other than you're on the raid team. That's it. Okay. Group find. Every theme park MMO from this point on forever is going to be a queue simulator. I mean, even the MMO that I'm still playing, Final Fantasy XIV, is that at endgame. Okay, so that's not going to go away. But yeah, those are the biggest things that come to mind. I know now they're adding, I mean, fuck lore, because now you can be apparently a Pandaren Death Knight, and I saw the new race they're adding, the Fox people, and I think that's retarded. But whatever, you know, I get that if it's a race you're not interested in, you're just not going to play it. But all those things I named, old Blizzard would be perfectly capable of bringing those to a new expansion, of making those things happen. I have no faith in Activision Blizzard at all. They don't listen to feedback during their betas. We've seen that time and time again. So I think opting into a beta and doing the beta and even giving really concise and good constructive feedback is pointless. They're not going to listen to it. They're going to do what they want to do, which in generally is going to be what's going to get you to stay subscribed to the game for the longest. They're going to completely ignore lore. They're going to completely make shit stories like they always do. I mean, the story in WoW has been bad for a very, very long time. Ever since they ran out of their material from Warcraft 1, 2, and 3. So, yeah. Those are my opinions on World of Warcraft Shadowlands. Let me know what you guys think about World of Warcraft Shadowlands. Do you think it's going to be any good? Are you even going to play it? Are you playing WoW now? Are you playing a different MMO? Are you not playing MMOs right now? I know it's pretty dire straits right now. Sorry if I've sounded kind of odd. I've just been getting over being sick, but yeah. What do you guys think of World of Warcraft Shadowlands? And what's the deal with like all the Shadow expansions coming out? Shadowbringers, Shadowlands. Didn't Path of Exile just release something similar to that in name too? I don't know. But anyway, guys, this has been Raziel. Some news coming up here soon. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. All my followers on Twitch, I will soon be opening my Discord too. You don't have to be subscribed to my Twitch channel. As long as you're a follower, either on my Twitch channel or here on YouTube, you can join my Discord server, where we pretty much just spread toxic masculinity and memes and just talk shit and discuss games and different characters from different games, from Final Fantasy, all RPGs essentially, and MMOs are no exception. So if you're interested in that, you know, stay tuned, and I'll have a Discord link up soon. But anyway, guys, this has been Raziel, and as always, my friends, keep it real.